dance started when I was 3.5, and I actually don't remember. I only remember that my mother took me there, but my mother keeps telling me like the stories of me going there when I was 3.5 years old, and then the teacher said no, she's too small, so she won't be able to pick up what dance is, but because Bharatanatyam is very disciplinary, you need to sit in Adamandi and all that. But then it seems I sat there crying for like hours together, saying that I will not leave the class unless she teaches me something. So then, she felt really, she sympathized for what I was, and then she taught me the namaskaram, and she said, if you do the namaskaram, come tomorrow properly, and then I will take you for the class. So I went back, and my mother, she had a lot of interest for classical music and dance. Though she learned classical music, she was never allowed to perform as the Orthodox family, as a Brahmin family. She was never allowed to do a public performance. So then she said she has to have a girl child, and then she will put me into dance. That was her dream. So she was very, very inclined on it, and then she took me back, and then I showed her the namaskaram, and she said okay. And she was so I went back to class the next day, and I showed her the namaskaram, and my teacher, of course she is no more now, but she was surprised. She said, my God, 3.5-year-old sitting with a proper Aramandi was a shock for her. So and then my journey started, and I think when I was 4.5 and I did my first stage performance, and then she taught me a Varnam, and I did a Padam, a Jatiswaram and the Alaripu, which was almost for an hour. And yes, that temple is still there. I did my first performance, and whenever I go there, like I have all my parents, my aunt, everybody saying, see, this is the place where you gave your first performance. And after that, there was no looking back. It just continued and continued. After some time, I had to discontinue from her due to a lot of reasons. And then when I joined my second teacher, and where I did my Arangetram. But what I would say is, I think if it was not for my mother and my father, of course, I don't think I would have ever again continued dance after the break which I gave for 2-3 years because of my previous guru. And then I joined this guru where she molded me into a different personality, as I would say, more than an artist, because I used to always think that all gurus have the same mentality of making money, but then she was completely different. So yes, that is it. See, first of all, as I always say that culture and tradition is something that you imbibe from family, and parents play a very important role there. So it all depends on how the child is brought up in the house, with parents. So I would say if your child is not listening to classical music, it is not the child's problem. I think it is the parents' problem, because the parents wouldn't have listened to classical music at all. So if you make a point saying that okay, this is what my daughter, my son should listen to or see, I think that would make the whole journey easy. And parents, of course, are the ones who know exactly what is right for you, first thing. And then second is when some people say that no, my parents don't agree on having a profession in dance or something, I won't agree to it. I said no. You are the one who is going to live your life. So you talk to your parents and make them understand. Mom, Dad, see, this is what my life is. I mean, this is what I need to do. It need not be dance. I mean, it's anything. For example, he might be good in painting or something like that. So you just have to go and talk to them. It's just about that talk. And for me, with my parents, I've always been like, we are like friends. I have nothing that I've never ever shared with my mother. The thing is, I remember even the first love letter which I got when I was in 7th standard or something, the first thing I went and gave to her, I said, Amma, there this is. And so we are like that very close. So there's nothing that I actually hide from her. So she's like the main support and everything. I don't even know what I'll do without them. I mean, that's actually kind of scary. I started when I was 3.5. So by the time I was around 13, around 10 is when I discontinued my first dance training. And then when I was 13, I went back to the second teacher. There there is when I was introduced to Mohiniyattam. Mohiniyattam, I've been seeing it, and I always had a nice feeling. But then I used to always feel, why are they like doing the same things? I used to see as a child also. Why are they doing the same thing? There's so many tales, so many things that can be done. So then, when I went there and I got an opportunity to learn Mohiniyattam also, I continued Mohiniyattam, and slowly I was performing both. Then, but there's something called what you like to do and what your heart says. So for me, I think Bharatanatyam is definitely I like to do Bharatanatyam, but very close to my heart is Mohiniyattam. So I chose to do Mohiniyattam, and then like graduation is after graduation was the right time for me to choose one particular art form. So after graduation, I took more time to know about Mohiniyattam, and then though my post graduation is in performing arts, I said okay, I should actually set Mohiniyattam as my goal, and then I did my thesis in it, and then so that is the thing. And then I teach Bharatanatyam, I teach Mohiniyattam, but I perform only Mohiniyattam. Whichever the art form is, that doesn't matter, but for a dancer, if her face and if her eyes cannot speak, then they are not meant to be dancers.